Internet, it's your favorite player's favorite podcast, Game and Gab. In this episode, we are trying to beat this invasions level. I've been struggling against this thing, and maybe it's because I just haven't been using my points. Perhaps I just have to go ahead and bite the bullet and just use the points, because I feel like he's just outliving me. And also, I want to touch on a poll that I did recently about the best designs for Scorpion, which I think should be cool. Everybody likes Scorpion, and he's had some of the most designs in the game, other than maybe Sub-Zero. Oh, this Johnny Cage. And possibly some of the more favored designs too. I know that Shredder Sub-Zero is probably one of the most beloved. Oh, why did I try to attack there? One of the most beloved Sub-Zero designs. But I think Scorpion has a couple really good ones himself. So we're going to go over those Scorpion designs in just a moment here. Oh, I need to hit confirm that even more so against this. Look at this. Oh my gosh, the armor is so annoying. Secret, what's going on, sir? We are going to be touching on the best... Oh my gosh, the chip damage! We're going to be touching on the best designs for Scorpion. By the way, do you have a favorite design for Scorpion? Also, let me know how the audio sounds. Is the audio from the game too loud? Am I too loud or too low? Let me know. But also let me know if you have a favorite Scorpion design. Which one is it? Not just from Mortal Kombat 1. I mean just any form of Scorpion. Oh gosh. Oh man. Oh. Playing some MK Trilogy? Man, on what system? Or... well, yeah, what system? Because it can't be Fightcade. I think they only have UMK3. Oh, man, he blocked it. Also, who do you main in Trilogy? MK9 is your favorite Scorpion design? I think that's one that most people like as well. And by that you mean the regular oh my gosh, the standard default costume on him. You're playing Trilogy on PS1. Really? I feel like that has so much loading. Isn't that the one where like you can't even really use Shang Tsung because you have to load out like his transformations. I think the PS version of Trilogy looks great and sounds great. Sounds better than the 64 version, but I think the 64 version is used more in tournaments just because of the loading issues. But sound-wise, the PlayStation one is like almost like the arcades. Okay, you punk. But yeah, Trilogy is dope. And you said Noob, Cybot, and Scorpion, huh? Man, I wish I remember how competitive Scorpion was in Trilogy. Ooh! I didn't really use Scorpion, but I know he was good. Trilogy was where they gave him his forward dash punch, I believe, right? Like he has that in Trilogy, but not in UMK3. Oh my gosh. It's ridiculous. Man, the armor is so stupid. Of course he blocks it. Oh, the time I don't commit to it. Because I thought he would have armor. Oh, gosh. Support. What's going on, Support? Have you checked any of the videos that I edited? I don't think so. I subscribed to you, but I didn't see any notification for that. So I will definitely go and check them out. Anyway, I'm just popping in for a moment. I'm on vacation in California right now. Oh, that's funny. Merry Christmas. Thanks for popping in. That's really cool. How long are you going to be in California? Well, if you're going to go, then you can just... We'll talk another time. But thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. Have fun on your vacation. Don't get beat up out there. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that stuff. Okay. But Support, no, I haven't seen anything, any of your videos. So, but I will definitely go to your channel and check them out. And anyone else, I can't even talk. Anyone else who's here, check out Support Gaming's YouTube channel, and give them a like, give them a subscribe. Let's all support each other. I know a lot of people don't like when others like advertise in their chat or something like that, but I have no problem with it. Let's all help each other get more seen. Ah. Oh, yay. Oh, of course he blocks it now. Oh my gosh. This is so dumb. Okay. Support is saying, not a holiday type of person anymore. It's just another day for me, but enjoy yours. Not a holiday type of person anymore. Man, that sounds like there's a tragic backstory there. But I feel like it is, I feel like it's important to grasp the concept of not getting too, not getting too, I don't want to say excited, but not getting too high on stuff, but also not getting too low on stuff. Like, it is just another day. You're absolutely right. And it's not the be-all, end-all if something doesn't go right or if something does go right. And, but also, you know, enjoy whatever time it is, no matter what the day is. If it gives you an excuse to enjoy time with loved ones, then enjoy that time with loved ones. Not saying that you don't. I'm just as a philosophy is something that I try to live by. Not to get too high on things and not to get too low on things. But you know what? I'm getting low on this stupid fight because Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage. You know, so some Shinfits lore here. The first time I played Mortal Kombat in '92 in the arcades, I had seen the game before and I watched people play, but I didn't really. The first time I discovered it, I didn't actually play the game. But I came back the next day to play, and when I did, I went on a roll until I fought Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage handed me my first defeat, and I kind of hated him since then. I've kind of hated Johnny Cage since that, and it has really nothing to do with Johnny Cage. It's just that the computer just gets more difficult as you get more wins, and it just happened to be Johnny Cage that the difficulty went up, and it was my first time playing the game, so of course I'm gonna lose eventually. And but there was this excuse me, there was this oh, I swore I woke up, I blocked high, I mean, there was this like unconscious hate for Johnny Cage, and I'm seeing why now again, because this fight is stupid. And then it gets to the part with the car, and I've yet to beat that section with the car. It's so ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Annoying. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time, and then we're gonna go over the best Scorpion design support. Do you have a favorite design for Scorpion? And I don't mean in MK1. I just mean in any video game, in any form of media. Is there a design for Scorpion that you like best? Why did that not? Oh, caught him. Okay. What? Why did that? Oh, did I not EX that? Ay, ay, ay. If this was a regular oh no, I didn't want to do that. Oh my gosh. Of course you can't grab him. Why would I be able to grab him? Ay, 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 ay. I don't know if you subbed to Naper, but he has a lot of rants about MK1, which I can agree with some of his points on the problems with the game. I believe I did sub to Naper, and you know, that's another thing. I haven't seen any. I don't know what's up with my algorithm, why I haven't been seeing you guys. I know I also subbed, so there was one stream where it was like you were in here and Naper was in here and Headlocked Gaming was in here, and I subbed to all three of you guys, but I've only been seeing Headlock stuff, and I don't know why that is. I thought maybe there was no new video that you guys put out. But I will definitely go to your channel, and I'll go to Naper's channel and check out his stuff as well. Is there any video in particular that you recommend for both yourself, your channel, and Naper's channel? Oh no, I meant to short hop there. Okay. Naturally, I would say the Deadly Alliance design. Oh, yeah, people love the Deadly Alliance. And I was just looking over the designs for Scorpion as well, for this live stream, and yeah, I can see why people love the Deadly Alliance. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. I can see why people like the Deadly Alliance design, because he looks more like a ninja. So actually, let me just jump into it here, because Johnny Cage is just destroying me. I apologize. I had to go cough up a lung real quick. Okay. Support, you're saying, well, with me, I haven't posted anything recent yet. I'm still kind of bummed out on on uploading right now. Still have videos that I'm trying to finish. I totally understand. 100% understand. But I will go check out your current videos that you have up. All right. So I want to go over the Scorpion designs. Oh, I didn't even put up the chat. I apologize. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. Here we go. Something is wrong with my notifications too. For some reason, haven't comments notifications don't pop up even when other channels heart my comments. Yeah, I feel like whenever anyone likes my comments, I don't get a notification for that, but whenever someone replies to my comments, I get a notification. So it sounds like it's not just you. It feels like that's something YouTube is kind of dealing with, or maybe that's just their new system. But I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, let me see if I can figure this out here. Here we go. All right. So the initial design for Scorpion, the OG Mortal Kombat 92, just cloth ninja suit with big shoulders. Cloth ninja suit with just big shoulders, and I thought that this was so cool at the time. I thought that the shoulder pads and the the little, I don't even know what you would call that, the little cloth, like the little crotch cloth, I guess. I don't know what that thing would be called, but I just felt like this design was super cool for a ninja. It really gave me the impression of like of American Ninja. I don't know if you've ever seen those movies. They're old movies, but Scorpion and Sub-Zero feels very reminiscent of American Ninja to me. Oh, okay. Support says I can't put links into the chat. Only you or a moderator can do that. Oh, is that so? Really? Okay. Let me see if I can. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. I'm going to grab your... I'm going to put the link to your thing in the chat. 1 second here. Okay. Bear with me a moment. Support Gaming 2026. Yeah, it shows that I'm sub to you. Okay, so I'm gonna do... I'm just going to... Here we go. All right. Oh, why did it do that? Okay, hold on. Okay, this is... So, I don't know why modern computers do this. Okay, here we go. I got it. Okay, there should be the link to Support Gaming's channel. In most games, the classic ninja costumes are like a beginners of ninja training. I agree, 100%. So, oh no, no. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. Okay, this is what we want. Okay, here we go. So yeah, it does very much look like the beginners of ninja training, where you're just everyone has a weird color, and yeah, it's very basic hooded thing. And I thought this worked. I thought this was dope for a ninja. I mean, it's the initial thing for Mortal Kombat and for Scorpion, but I thought this was such a cool design. Okay. MK2. I remember as a kid, I was like, why is his mask not like cloth anymore? Why is it like a hockey mask, almost plastic looking with holes in it? I was like, why? Why did they do this to the ninja in Mortal Kombat? So, and then of course the colored portion was more felted. It looked like more quilted almost. And the game is phenomenal. I loved MK2, but I did not necessarily like the design for Scorpion and Sub-Zero in this game. Support says, in MK Deception, Shujinko trained with Sub-Zero and the Lin Kuei, but his story took place years before the original MK1. So it's an ancestor of Sub-Zero? Oh, no. No, I don't believe so. Wait, hold on. Maybe the ninjas in MK2 have breathing issues? Clearly in Shang Tsung's tournament, they didn't win because they couldn't breathe clearly enough. So they're like, let me get something with some holes in it. But to answer your question about Shujinko, no, didn't he train with the Lin Kuei when he was still younger, Shujinko? Like it was before he became an old man. Because I remember he trains with Sub-Zero, he trains with a couple other people. Raiden offers him the chance to be one of the champions to represent Earthrealm in the 10th tournament on Shang Tsung's island, but he turns it down because he's still on Damashi's quest. And then he goes to Order Realm and gets imprisoned for a bunch of years. And then, so during that time, like MK 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think and Deadly Alliance, all of that happens while Shujinko is imprisoned in Order Realm. So I think that's the timeline, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's how it goes. All right. So, yeah, for me, so I'm just going to do thumbs up, thumbs down when it comes to the designs. And I think this was a thumbs down, the MK2 design. Yes, Shujinko was like a young adult when he trained with the Lin Kuei. Yeah, so he trained with the Lin Kuei. I believe it was Kuai Liang Sub-Zero. I don't think they really go in depth of who it was as Sub-Zero, but I think it's assumed it was Kuai Liang. I don't even know if they refer to him as Sub-Zero. I need to replay Conquest in Deception. Well, I mean, I guess it could be Bi-Han, but I don't know. Anyway, he trains with the Lin Kuei as a young man. The 10th tournament doesn't happen yet. Raiden gives him the offer, he turns it down, he goes to Order Realm, gets imprisoned, and then the MK timeline happens as we know it. So I think it's kind of accurate as far as the timeline goes. All right, so we have now, to me, one of the creme de la creme. We got the MK3 Scorpion. This is this, man, I played so much this is UMK3. Obviously, Scorpion was not in MK3. They left out pretty much all the ninja. Sub-Zero was in it, but there was no masked ninja in MK3. Only the cyber ninja. Support says, Shujinko trains with Lin Kuei before MK1 through 3. Shujinko meets Raiden during MK1. Meets Scorpion after MK4 already happened because Hanzo knows Quan Chi murdered his family. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. So he was imprisoned, and then I guess he gets released sometime after MK4. I'm guessing it's also after Deadly Alliance, because both Quan Chi and Scorpion are no longer in the Netherrealm. So yeah, it's like I said, he was imprisoned up until Deadly Alliance. Up until the end of Deadly Alliance. The timeline still confuses me because Shujinko was imprisoned all that time, became old, but Deadly Alliance was still happening in other realms. Right, so I believe while he was imprisoned, all of Deadly Alliance happened. Because, so here's the thing. If you replay the Deception Conquest mode, and you pay attention to the opening sequence in Deception, you'll see that when Conquest ends, like when Shujinko's story ends, that's when Deception, that's, I guess, kind of where Deception begins. Because that opening sequence where Onaga goes to the palace in Outworld to fight Raiden, Shang Tsung, and Quan Chi, that happens after Shujinko finished his quest, because at the last, when he actually talks to Shujinko, he's like, why didn't the Kamidogu get transported to the Elder Gods? And then Onaga says, well, it didn't get transported because there's one part still missing, and there are some sorcerers in Outworld that have it, and I'm going to go there next, but first I'm going to kill you. Shujinko runs through a portal, and Onaga's like, whatever, I'm not going to chase after him. And then he goes to Outworld instead of where Shujinko is. Then he fights Raiden, Shang Tsung, and Quan Chi. Then he gets Shinnok's amulet, and that's the last piece he needs to combine the Kamidogu to become the one Kamidogu. And then even in the sequence, he says now he has everything he needs to shape the realms, and I'm the one who gave him this power, yada yada yada. So this Deception, the Conquest mode, where it ends is where the opening of Deception begins. I hope that makes sense. Okay, in MK3, I like how Scorpion's picture in the character select, you can still his mask resemble a skull, like when he's unmasked. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. But yeah, for me, this was the creme de la creme of Scorpion designs. I just really loved how this looked. I loved the I thought it was kind of weird that the colored part were like sectioned off, but I digged it. I think it was a different take on the ninja design, and I thought it was dope. I mean, you can see his mask. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah, but you see like the skull. I know exactly what you mean. Okay, next is MK4. And MK4, clearly MK4 is just like MK3 2.0 in a sense. Like, they kept the same run mechanic, and for the ninja, except for Reptile, they kind of kept the same design. He still has the sectioned off, colored parts. The armbands kind of still look the same. Let me see here. The armbands kind of have the same design. It looks like, where it's like that. I don't even know how to describe it, but the middle section is cleared off, but then there's like a rectangle of the same color inside of it. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it's the same. They just added like the skull on his belt, and they just called it a day. But yeah, this design is pretty good too. I liked it. I thought it made sense. It was, I mean, this is maybe one of the only times where they did not do a redesign. They just said, let's just do the same costume, but let's bring it into 3D. Oh, hold on. What about Monster's design? Elder Gods Champion. Would you count that as a... Oh, Monster. Yeah, technically Monster is... It's just Scorpion's move. So, I know it uses Hapkido. But, I mean, they could have given any character Hapkido. And I believe Scorpion is not the only character that uses Hapkido in the 3D games. But I believe he does have the spear and the teleport. So I guess he's essentially Scorpion. I wouldn't count it as a Scorpion design. Even though gameplay-wise it's clearly Scorpion. But, but no. I don't think Monster... I wouldn't count it as a Scorpion design. Even though, if I recall, I think it looked kind of corny to me. I haven't seen it in a long time, so maybe I need to look at it again. But what do you think about Monster's design? Number one, would you consider it a Scorpion design, and would you give Monster's design a thumbs up or thumbs down? For me, I would say thumbs down, but only because I haven't seen it in a long time, and I remember when I initially saw it, I wasn't a fan. So that, I guess that's what my mark for that would be. Okay, another creme de la creme is the Deadly Alliance Scorpion. This Scorpion, this design, like, when I think of a fictional ninja, this is what I think about. He has the katanas on his back. And this is something I'm going to touch on later. He's not all armored up. Like, he looks like he can still be agile in this design. Scorpion in MK Deception is the Elder Gods champion after Monster failed, so I guess it's symbolic. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, well, I mean, in an ending, they do say that he is the Elder God. Oh, yeah, Scorpion was actually the champion of the Elder Gods. I'm forgetting that Shujinko was not actually chosen by the Elder Gods. His design in Deadly Alliance is the best one for me, especially his alternate costume. Is the alternate costume the one with the skull, where you just see the skull and the flames on it? I think that's the Deadly Alliance one, but yeah, when I think of fictional ninjas, this design comes to mind. I know I'm not a fan of like the skull on the belt. I don't think they needed to do that. I feel like like Scorpion was putting together his outfit and he's like, what would go good with this? I mean, I want people to know I'm a dead man. Let me make sure I get a belt with a skull on it. I feel like that's a little over the top, but yeah, the skull with the flames. Yes, I feel like that was dope too. But overall, I mean, this is just chef kiss design. This is just fantastic peak Scorpion design right here. Okay, next we got Deception. Scorpion, and this is where I start to not kind of like the designs, because I mean I feel like it looks cool. I like the mask, but I hate the shoulder pads. I hate, like, this is more like something a samurai would be wearing. That looks like Champion. That looks like. Wait, hold on. Scorpion support. I'm still kind of sick, so I can't laugh. This man support says that looks like a championship belt from WWE, and you know what? You're not lying. Oh, Matt, excuse me. I apologize. But you're 100% right. This is something Vince McMahon was like, we're going to push this championship. Oh, man, that was funny. Okay, support also says his Deception design is kind of similar to Monster's, except Monster's older and has horns. That's right. Monster did have horns. But yeah, I mean, especially this picture, I think it's cool, the flaming sword. I love that they gave him katanas as weapons instead of, like, the axe that he had in Ultimate MK3. I always thought that was kind of weird. Like, why does he randomly have an axe? Like, I don't know. Awkward. So I love that he has katanas. That's much more classic ninja. And everything is dope, but I hate the shoulder pads. I hate that he has this chest plate armor thing going on. Like, I feel like he's much more samurai than he is ninja. So it's okay, but it's a thumbs down for me. Barely a thumbs down, but it is a thumbs down. Okay, and then in Armageddon, we have a return to form, because he put back, this man said, let me go back to the closet and get my old fit, because this is essentially his UMK3 costume. Again, different mask, but he has that Deception WWE belt on. He got the he has the skull. He has the flaming skull Stone Cold Steve Austin championship belt. Armageddon Scorpion looks like an upgrade from MK4. Exactly that. Yep, it looks just like MK4 or UMK3. Like, it's the same costume, which I really appreciate that they just went back to a classic look for Scorpion and Armageddon. So I thought that was cool. Next game is MK versus DC, and I actually like this costume. Say what you will about the game itself. I think that a lot of the designs in that game were actually pretty cool, and I think I like the Scorpion design. This is where we started to get, like, a more distinct difference between Scorpion and Sub-Zero when it comes to their masked looks, because Scorpion was more and more becoming more like ridged, almost like Scorpion's armor, I guess, where his hood is more ridged, and then he has like these. It looks like, I don't know, Scorpion legs are over his mask almost. I hope that makes sense, but this is where we began that more ridged look for Scorpion, and I like it. I think it looks cool. I think this is a precursor to what they would ultimately go with in MK9. So I thought that was cool. Support says MK versus DC is kind of similar to his Shaolin Monks design and his MK2 design. Yes, 100% correct. But yeah, I thought this was cool. This was a thumbs up for me. You know what? I completely forgot about the I thought the Shaolin Monks design was similar, so I didn't include it in what I have here. But here's another one that people absolutely love, and I can understand why. MK9 Scorpion. Super cool design. I get the symbolism with the hilt of his sword. But I don't really like the hilt of his sword, looking like a scorpion hook thing there. But other than that, I mean, this is dope. This is a thumbs up for me. I think the MK9 design for Scorpion is so cool. The yellow is toned down, like it's there. It's bright enough for you to realize that this is Scorpion, but it's toned down where it's not just like a bright in your face yellow. And I thought that was a really nice touch. Again, it looks like something is over his mask. Like it feels like he has a mask on, and then he put a second grill looking thing over it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's phenomenal. I love this design from MK9. Support says, to be honest, all of his designs weren't bad at all to me. Most of seem to fit the character. Most of them seem to fit the character. I agree. I feel like it fits who Scorpion is. It looks very like otherworldly, like he is a hellspawn, like he is a hellspawned ninja. So it totally makes sense. His mask starts to resemble like a real Scorpion too. Exactly, 100%. That's exactly what I was trying to describe, and I just couldn't find the words. But yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. This next game for me, I did not like. I did not like the way he looked in this next game, and that is not Mortal Kombat, but Injustice. Injustice Scorpion. I don't like these little things sticking out of his back or his shoulders, the little hooks there. The hood looks cool. I love the hood. I love the mask. I hate the armor. I hate this chest plate armor. I mean, I understand what they're going for. He's fighting superheroes, so we have to kind of, I don't know, explain why he can tank a hit from Superman or Wonder Woman, I guess. But like even the boots, look at how heavy the boots look. Especially you compare it to MK9. I mean, it looks like he's just wearing boots, and then the shins of the boots have like extra spikes on it. But here it feels like the boot is just a bigger, heavier boot. It goes all the way to the knee. He has this chest plate. He has the hook things on his back. I'm not digging it at all. I don't like the Injustice Scorpion. But the next Scorpion I thought was cool, and one of my favorite games. Injustice Scorpion does kind of resemble the way Sub-Zero from Armageddon looked. Oh, that's an interesting point. Does he? I think you might be right. I need to re-look at Armageddon Sub-Zero. Whenever I think of 3D era Sub-Zero, I always think of the Shredder Sub-Zero from Deadly Alliance, I believe, is where he has that Shredder look. And then, it's funny, I feel like Sub-Zero simultaneously has one of the best designs and one of the worst designs. And I think it's in the same game, where he has that Shredder look, but then he also has one where he doesn't have the hood on, and he has like this bald-headed look, but he has like almost like a ponytail. It's probably one of the worst Sub-Zero designs I've ever seen, but I think it's in Deadly Alliance or Deception, one of the two. I don't remember, but I always think of Shredder Sub-Zero when I think of 3D era Sub-Zero. Okay, the next design for Scorpion I thought was pretty cool. It is MKX. They even brought back the sectioned off classic design, which I think is cool, but here he went back, like it looks like it doesn't look like he's wearing just cloth the way he did in the first Mortal Kombat game, and it's not armor the way it is in like Injustice. It looks more like something in between, like a thick leather or something like that, and I can dig that for a ninja. I think that works for a ninja character. Support says, I think original Sub-Zero in Deception wasn't intended to be Kuai Liang because he didn't have the scar over his eye and was pale-skinned. Are you sure he didn't have the scar? That's interesting. I need to go back and look. Because you think it originally was not intended to be Kuai Liang. Like maybe it was Bi-Han? Because in Deadly Alliance, well, in Deception, I mean, in Deception, that's when we find out that Noob Saibot was the original Sub-Zero, so maybe you thought it was someone else? Too bad his MKX design wasn't canon. It was a good design. What do you mean it wasn't canon? You mean the classic one wasn't canon, or the default MKX design wasn't canon? Because I think I don't see why it wouldn't be canon in MKX, but I really like this like thick leather look. His boots, it's not like this super spiky like armored thing on his boots. Like he looks like he can be agile and he can be quiet, but he's not just wearing cloth. In MK Deadly Alliance, Sub-Zero has the scar in both costumes. In Deception, he doesn't have the scar in none of his costumes. Really? That is a detail that I missed. I'm going to go back and look. That's interesting. Alright, so next up, after MKX, we have... No, that was loud. We have MK11. And MK11, I know I say I hate the armor, but I love this design of Scorpion. I love the red underneath. I think that's the first time that we've ever seen a different color on Scorpion other than like black and yellow. So I love just that little piece of red there. I love the hooded look. I think looks cool. The mask is dope. I mean, they always have like cool looking masks. And then like he's just wearing a belt, and like just like a regular belt, like functionally useful belt, not a skull on it or anything like that. But I even like the design for younger Scorpion, like when he's no longer Hanzo, the Ninja Spectre Scorpion. And it makes sense why he has like the skull on his belt, because this is the man coming from the Netherrealm, so he's gonna have some Hellspawn stuff going on. Okay, support says, in the story mode of MKX, Scorpion for the most part has MK9 skin, and later or in the present day when he's human, he's unmasked. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so MKX, I should have actually put that too, because in MKX he does have just the Hanzo Hasashi design, where he's unmasked, he has like the headband, and I dig that too. Like I feel like we've had Scorpion be undead for so long, seeing him as Hanzo was really cool, and seeing his growth to not be as hot-headed and to actually become a leader and help develop Takeda. Just to see Scorpion in that light, story-wise, to see his development, I thought was really cool. MK11 design is nice. Yes, I agree. I feel like MK11 was a dope design. I love the customization, was just absolutely beautiful. But if we're just talking about default, the way he looks in the story mode, it looks dope. He looks dope in his original skin. He looks dope as younger Scorpion. And even the Hanzo Hasashi look that we got, where he has his mask off, also fantastic. I love the design of MK11. And then finally, we come to MK1 design Scorpion. And this isn't Hanzo anymore. We know it's not Hanzo, but he is going by Scorpion. I mean, we also kind of see human Scorpion before becoming a demon in MK Mythologies. Oh, we do. First mission when Bi-Han kills him. Yep. But there is a recolor of Sub-Zero. Yeah. And I feel like those designs look like the MK3 design, if I remember correctly. But yeah, we do see him as Hanzo just on a mission, and then we see his eventual death, which was cool to see, because we always knew that Sub-Zero killed him, but we didn't know under what circumstance or why they ended up coming to blows or whatever the case may be. So that was cool to see. Here we have the MK1 Scorpion, and honestly, I kind of like it. I kind of like this little vest thing that they're wearing. Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Smoke all wear the same vest uniform, which makes it feel like they're all from the same organization. They all have the same pin representing the Lin Kuei. They're just in different colors. The only thing I cannot stand with this design is the Scorpion tattoo on his arm. Like, I just feel like it's too on the nose. I hate that tattoo. Cover it up. Get that thing off of him. I hate it, but other than that, I love this design. I think it looks really cool. I think the mask being a gold that doesn't exactly have the same color of the vest is more realistic than it being exactly the same. Yeah, I think it's dope. I think it looks really, really good. Support says, to be honest, I don't have an issue with Kuai Liang as Scorpion, but I think for story purposes, MK1 Scorpion should have been named Takeda as a callback to the old lore. That would have been cool. In the old lore, Takeda formed the Shirai Ryu after breaking away from the Lin Kuei, like Kuai Liang did in MK1. Yeah, but I think they just wanted to also keep the brother dynamic between him and Bi-Han, which is probably why they didn't do that. But I see what it would have been a cool callback, absolutely. But yeah, and then it would be different because Takeda, my guess is would be Chinese, and Bi-Han and Kuai Liang are, well, Bi-Han and Kuai Liang are also supposed to be Chinese, so never mind. I guess that works. the Shirai Ryu eventually become like a Japanese clan, so that's completely different. But yeah, I guess it would work if it was Takeda. But again, I think story-wise, they wanted to have the link between him and Bi-Han. But yeah, just like you, I have no problem with Kuai Liang being Scorpion this time around. Like I always say, things will go back to normal eventually. We'll have Hanzo as Scorpion again. But, you know, to feel homesick, sometimes you gotta leave home. You know? So it's gonna be a nice homecoming when we finally have Hanzo as Scorpion again, but he's gotta go away a little sometimes for you people to miss him. I mean, depending on which game, Sub-Zero is either Chinese or American or a mix of both. I mean, when John Turk played him, he did not look like a Chinese man. John Turk is a white man. He's an American man. I mean, American can mean anything, right? American could be Chinese. So That's not that's completely different. But John Turk is a Caucasian man, not Chinese whatsoever. I don't know what they were thinking with. I mean, John Turk is amazing. Like if you see him, the way he moves. I remember the first time I played MK3, and when MK3 came out at the time, I was doing martial arts, and I remember just seeing him do the spin kick, and I was like, man, the way he balances, like the way his hip movement is, like that spin kick is picture perfect. That is a phenomenal looking spin kick. So John Turk that man knows what he's doing. He's a great martial artist. But if we knew we were taking the mask off of Sub-Zero, and we know Sub-Zero is supposed to be Chinese, why would we go with John Turk at this time? It's just, I don't get it, but his movements were dope. I loved John Turk as Sub-Zero. But yeah, Sub-Zero, by the lore, is supposed to be Chinese. And I don't think that has changed. I know that they changed like Kano's nationality, because originally Kano was supposed to be like half he's like Caucasian and Japanese, I believe. But because the movie was so popular, they just made him Australian. They just made him from Australia. But I don't think that's the case with Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is Chinese. He's always Chinese. But yeah, I like this Scorpion design. I think it looks good. The best Quan Chi is MK4. And Mythologies. That voice, man. Yo, you are not lying. Do not fail me. Oh, no. That's Mythologies. And I love just, oh man, his performance was so good. I love just all the little digs on Sub-Zero when he keeps calling him Ninja, when he knows he doesn't like to be called a ninja. Oh man, just so perfect. Do not fail me. Yeah, man, great stuff. But you're 100% right about that, about Quan Chi. And I believe, was it Riz Divisio, something like that? Is that the guy who played Quan Chi? Like he did mocap for like Kano and Baraka, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think originally Kano was supposed to be orphan raised in Japan or China, right? Yes, he's supposed to be, I believe in the instruction manual it says like he has a Caucasian parent and a Japanese parent, and he was raised in Japan. Something like that. But originally, MK1, Kano is mixed. White and Japanese. But then they're just like, this MK movie. And you know what? That movie did so much to shape Mortal Kombat. Completely changed the nationality of Kano, introduced the love interest between Liu Kang and Kitana, because I don't believe Liu Kang and Kitana they didn't have a love interest thing until that movie, if I'm not mistaken. We never see anything about them being a thing in MK2 in any of the storyboards, or in MK3. We never see anything between Kitana and Liu Kang, but in Hollywood you need to have a love interest. So they just took two of the characters and said, these guys are love interest. And then we also got the Johnny Cage Sonya relationship, because again, I don't think there was anything in any of the lore before that movie as far as as far as Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade. So, I mean, that movie shaped so much of the relationships for the characters that the NetherRealm / Midway studio are just like, let's just use what the movie already established, and then we'll just throw it into our story. And then, of course, Carrie, I'm not even going to attempt to say his last name, but you know what I mean. That Shang Tsung performance, the first time I saw it as a kid, I was like, when I saw him on screen, I'm like, this is not Shang Tsung. Especially because I was a fan of Big Trouble in Little China, and I just knew Shang Tsung is supposed to be a stand-in for Lo Pan. If you've never seen it, Lo Pan is the villain of Big Trouble in Little China. They took some other stuff from that movie as well. Raiden, the whole character of Raiden is a reference to Big Trouble in Little China. So when I saw Carrie as Shang Tsung, I'm like, this is not Shang Tsung. He's supposed to be an old, nasty-looking, decrepit old man. But that performance just aged like fine wine. Like, the whole "your soul is mine," that was never in any of the MK lore until that movie. And that phrase alone made Shang Tsung. So, just absolutely beautiful. I always took it as Kano being tortured as a kid, as alluded to in the MKX Ladder ending, where he tortures his own son in order to keep the Black Dragon alive. Could explain why he is that way. Yeah. I believe in the original game, the backstories that we get from the characters are intentionally vague. They just give a little bit. Now, at the time, I feel like they gave more information on their characters than any other fighting game has ever done. At that time, the backstories and whatnot for characters in fighting games were not that fleshed out. But a lot of stuff was still vague in the original MK lore. So, I mean, him growing up in Japan and then that leading to him becoming a Black Dragon, it could absolutely be a case of him being abused while he was a kid. I can 100% see that. True, it ended up Carrie ended up being the best Shang Tsung out of all of them. Yeah, Carrie was phenomenal. I mean, just that phrase alone. You can't think of Shang Tsung without thinking "your soul is mine," and that you think that was always a part of the character, but it wasn't until that first movie, that 95 movie. So amazing. It has begun. I mean, that is such a Mortal Kombat thing. Like, when you think of Street Fighter, you think Hadouken, you think Shoryuken, maybe you think Sonic Boom. Excuse me. When you think of Mortal Kombat, you think "get over here," "your soul is mine," and "it has begun." And two of those things came from the Mortal Kombat 95 movie. People complain about how modern MK games have retcons, but retcons always been a thing since the early games. 100%, yes. People think that it was just all rosy and perfect in the original games. Like, if you play that first game, in the first game, there's no talk about Outworld. There's no talk about this is the 10th. Oh, actually, do they? Maybe they do in the comic. I need to reread that. I'm not 100%. But in the original story of Mortal Kombat, the way Shang Tsung's tournament is more like, so they mentioned that Shang Tsung, quote unquote, took over the Shaolin tournament and turned it into his own tournament. So it was something more akin to Enter the Dragon than it was like this like different realms and whatnot. Raiden was not Earth's protector in the first Mortal Kombat game. he was a god that just gave up his immortality just because he wanted to challenge himself in this tournament, and you have to be mortal to enter the tournament. So he gave up his immortality to be able to compete. And then come MK2, it completely changed. Now he's Earthrealm's protector, and now we're doing this to protect the realm of Earth and whatnot. So 100%, there was always retcons, and people want to pretend like the story was perfect in the beginning. And now they're mixing things up or whatnot, but things were always mixed up. You're 100% correct. Support says, in MK2, Kitana Ending said her parents originally ruled Outworld until Shao Kahn took the realm from them. And then MK3 said Kitana was from Edenia. Now MK1 says she's from Outworld again. Yeah, I mean, MK1... they have an in-universe reason why a retcon could happen, because Liu Kang can just change it when he, using the hourglass. But yes, 100% about Outworld in MK2, and then they're like, no, we shouldn't have, let's have her be from a realm that was fused in, and Edenia. Edenia, I feel like, is a stand-in for... One moment. Sorry about that. But Edenia, I actually should do a video about this, about how the inspirations for all this seems to come from. But it feels like to me Edenia is a stand-in for Eden. The names kind of correlate, and apparently in the Garden of Eden you lived for like a extremely long time, as long as you ate the fruit or whatever. And Edenians live a crazy amount of time too. So I feel like it's supposed to be this peaceful, beautiful, yada yada kind of place. So I feel like Edenia is Mortal Kombat's version of Eden. The Netherrealm is the version of Hell. And Shinnok is kind of like Satan. Like, Shinnok was divine at one point, and then he was cast out from the Elder Gods, and yada yada yada. So I feel like those places are very they take inspiration from like biblical stuff. In the original MK game, Raiden wasn't even Earthrealm's protector, but similar to Dark Raiden's persona. Yeah, in the original game, Raiden is just a god that feels like fighting. He feels like throwing hands. And he's like, apparently there's really strong fighters in this tournament, but to enter this tournament, it is Mortal Kombat. You have to be mortal to compete, so he gave up his godhood temporarily to compete in this tournament. That's all Raiden is in the first game. I always viewed Edenia as basically Earthrealm, but everyone ages slowly. Kind of like Eden from Genesis. Like Edenia would be Earth if Adam didn't sin. Exactly. Okay. One second here. I apologize. Okay. Also, support, you say, I'd say Shang Tsung is more like Satan than Shinnok. Well, I mean, Shinnok, if you... I mean, so here's the thing. I don't want to get into like a whole thing about the Bible or anything like that, but I feel like Shinnok is more representative of... And I actually had a talk about this with Headlock Gaming on one of his streams, and he was like, apparently there is a Satan in Mortal Kombat, and Shinnok like defeats him to take over the Netherrealm, something like that. I'm not familiar with that, but if I had to say, I think Shinnok is closer to Satan because, like I said, Shinnok was divine at one point. Shinnok was with the creators of the realms, just like Satan was with the creator of Earth. Both of them did a bad thing and was cast out from where the creator is, and cast into hell. So just like Shinnok was with the creators, he was with the elder gods, he was an elder god, and then they cast him out of wherever the elder gods are and cast him into the Netherrealm. I feel like that's more closely tied to Satan than Shang Tsung is. Shang Tsung being cursed to devour souls. I guess that is a connection to Satan, the desire to steal souls. That would make sense. But other than that's, I see where you're getting at. I still think Shinnok is more closely related to Satan than Shang Tsung, but now that I'm thinking about it, Shang Tsung does have a tie as well because of him wanting to steal souls. So that's an interesting thought. That's an interesting thought. But that is my designs for. That is my review for all the designs of Scorpion. Well, at least these weren't all the designs, but just the main the main designs from the main games. So we have the MK1 design. This was a thumbs up for me. MK2 design. This was a thumbs down. I can't deal with the grill, with the hockey grill mask. I can't do it. We have the MK3 design. Thumbs up. I love this design, and maybe it's just because I played so much MK3 and UMK3 and Trilogy, but I just love this design for Scorpion. Excuse me. We have the MK4 design. Again, I thought this was really dope. Thumbs up for me. We got the Deadly Alliance design, the Crème de la Crème. Big thumbs up for me on this one. We got the Deception design. This is a thumbs down. I'm not digging it. We got the Armageddon. This is a thumbs up. We went back to his old fit. We have the MK versus DC. This was a thumbs up for me. We have the MK9. Also a big thumbs up for me. We have the Injustice. This was a thumbs down. I can't rock with it. Can't play with it. Can't win with it. Can't do it. We have MK4. Thumbs up. I love this design. MK11. Also thumbs up. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And then we have MK1. Might be controversial, but also thumbs up. I love this design. But again, I can't stand that tattoo. That tattoo has got to go. Yep, Deadly Alliance, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, 100%. Support also says, I wonder if in MK13 we'll see a new take on Shinnok. We heard Liu Kang stopped him from creating the amulet, but another version of the amulet exists in Titan Shang's timeline. Yeah, he did neutralize Shinnok, and I wonder what that means. So I feel like in MK1, they specifically stayed away from all of the gods. We don't hear of or see anything about the Elder Gods. Other than Liu Kang himself, no gods really show up in MK1. and I think that's by design. So I think Shinnok might be a safe bet to say who would be the villain for a next game. So I think you're barking up the right tree there. All Scorpion's forms are MVPs in my book. Yeah, they're great. They're all great. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to I've been streaming for about an hour. I'm going to stay for a little while longer, but I'm going to try one more time to actually win this fight. And if you want to play any game, like if you want to play MK1 support, we can actually play some games if you'd like. If not, I'm cool just talking about whatever you want to talk about. Excuse me. Okay. Now, what about Shao Kahn's designs? I will definitely do a Shao Kahn design list. I think he, even though I feel like he doesn't really have a lot of variants, like Shao Kahn, we have the original, like, just classic Shao Kahn, and then we have what after that? We see him again in Deception. Excuse me. We see him again in Deception, and he's kind of the same looking. We see him again in Armageddon. Again, I feel like he's kind of the same looking. We see him in 9. I think, is that the next time we see Shao Kahn? He looks, I mean, the design is somewhat different, but I feel like most of the time he looks the same. It wasn't until MK11 that he really had a change. And, I would say not for the better. That helmet, like why we got to give him longer headpieces? I don't understand. And then of course we have General Shao, and I don't think anyone likes General Shao. Oh yeah. Even though I could be wrong, but I feel like it's most people would be like, yeah, give us original Shao Kahn design. We don't want all these horns. We don't want him. My gosh, the damage. Oh yeah. Okay, I gotta use points. What about Dark Kahn? I forgot he is in MK versus DC. Oh yeah, Dark Kahn. He just looks like a burnt condom. Like what is this? Like, why does this is the best we could do to fuse Shao Kahn and Darkseid? Like, yeah. Dark Kahn. That's funny. But yeah, I guess Dark Kahn would probably be worse than General Shao, I think. What were they thinking? Oh yeah. Even though, you know what? I remember playing MK vs. DC, and that's the first time Mortal Kombat had special cancels. And I thought it was really cool. The gameplay, you can tell that they were trying to do stuff. I feel like Mortal Kombat has... They tried everything other than Capcom's design philosophy when it comes to fighting games. And finally in MK9, they're like, alright, we're just going to go the Capcom route. We're going to get rid of the 3D. We're gonna do a super bar. No more of these 3 breakers things. We're gonna do EX moves. No more pro moves. Remember that? Oh, why did I mess that up? But I feel like that's when they're like, yeah, we're not gonna try and recreate the wheel. We're just gonna use what already works. But MK versus DC was the first time they tried the special cancel route, which was always a thing in Street Fighter. And I thought it was really fun and a precursor to what Mortal Kombat would become. So I'm throwing shade at MK versus DC, but I think it was a pivotal point of development for Mortal Kombat. Support says, I always thought he looked like a bootleg version of Blaze from Armageddon. Yes, he was the great value version of Blaze. He was the Walmart version of Blaze. It's called perfection. Oh, hold on one second. Let me see what you said here. Support, you say what hurt MK versus DC was censoring the fatalities, but it wasn't their fault because DC didn't want characters get their bodies ripped apart, which is ironic now since all their animated films are gory. Yes, yeah, they couldn't really. They were in between a rock and a hard place because if a studio comes to you and says, "Hey, you can put DC characters in your fighting game," I mean, you'd be foolish to say no to that, right? Like, of course we're going to do that, but you have these restrictions. How do you navigate around that in a way that the fans would satisfy both the fans and the company? So, yeah, I don't feel like it's their fault. They were really in between a rock and a hard place. Maybe not have I mean, I don't know if you can just not have fatalities at all. Do you just have bad fatalities the way they did? Or do you just leave out the fatality, the finishing mechanic? I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, but you know, they tried it, and I don't blame them for trying it. Oh, yeah. Johnny, you're annoying. But, I mean, also, I think that's an easy thing to point to when it comes to MK versus DC as far as what went wrong with it. But I feel like close combat was not that fun. They had like that close combat gimmick. I felt it did like too much damage for like there wasn't a lot of risk reward, I guess, with that. They had like the test your might mechanic where you can like push someone through walls or whatever. They had like, I mean, they had like a lot of minigamey stuff in between it, which I think was cool. But again, they were trying everything other than what was proven to work with fighting games. And I don't know why they were so dead set on just not doing what worked in fighting games. Just do the super meter. Do the supers. Like, MK did not have supers until MK9. Again, they just gave up and they're like, alright, we're gonna do what works now. But MK versus DC could have started that. They could have, you know, they wanted to have powered up special moves, but there was no meter. So how would they do it? They did pro moves. And just clearly they didn't go back to pro moves since, and they didn't go back for a reason. So MK versus DC, the lack of gore, I think, is the easy thing to point to, but I feel like NetherRealm's insistence to not do what the industry is normally doing really held them back. And it wasn't until MK9 that they were like, okay, we're gonna give in. Shao Kahn and Darkseid in MK versus DC are the only characters to not have fatalities in MK versus DC. Really? They don't have like a heroic brutality or whatever?
I have encountered.
Excuse me.
It's called perfection.
Oh, yeah. Why did I do that? Okay, I'm sure as soon as I assign my points that I'll be able to win this. I just gotta put a bunch into health and a bunch into attack, I guess. Excuse me, you guys. I'm sorry. Ah, the glasses, man, and the whole idea of Johnny Cage with the glasses. That's another thing from the movie that they just adopted. And that movie was a gold mine for the series. Too bad the second one couldn't do the same thing. That Annihilation. Oh, yeah. Jeez, I apologize again. I have a friend who absolutely loves Mortal Kombat. We get together to play every once in a while. He's been playing as long as I have, and I had to tell him. I remember we were talking about Annihilation, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't believe they did that to Shinnok." And he's like, "Shinnok isn't in that movie." I was like, "He absolutely is in that movie." We had to look at the. What is it called? You know, the credit screen. The credit screen. Where they roll the credits. For me to prove to him, like, yeah, that guy is Shinnok. Nope, I looked it up and there's no information for them having fatals. Really? I wonder why. I still hated the twist of Shao Kahn and Raiden being brothers in Annihilation. Like, what? Exactly! What? He's my brother? Like, what? And Shinnok is their dad? Like, who's their mom? Like, what? And then, what I thought was weird, too, is they have Mileena in that movie, and they just paid another actress to play Mileena instead of just having the Kitana actress play Mileena. Like, wouldn't that make more sense? She only had one fight scene, just have the Kitana actress do it. But so very strange. And I think they're doing the same thing with the next movie, because the next movie has Kitana and it's not the same actress who played Mileena. So, and I don't understand why Hollywood keeps doing this. They're twins. Just have the same person play that character. I don't get it. Oh man, I messed up. Stupid hype mode is ridiculous. Hype mode with armor. I forgot that I had to adjust my points. Okay. But yeah, Armageddon. Jeez. The first movie did so much good for the franchise, and Armageddon did the exact opposite. It killed the franchise. And then I remember Defenders of the Realm, which was, at the time I loved the Defenders of the Realm, but they just tried to make Mortal Kombat into G.I. Joe. Which, looking back at it from that lens, it's like, why are we doing this? Okay, I got 100 points that I need to allocate here. Oh man, I'm coughing up a storm. Okay. Support. And then the whole tattoo thing. Oh gosh, don't get me started on this. Tattoo that flies away when you die. They explain that the tattoos are Shao's minions or temporary and leave when they die. But the dragon tat flees when Shao dies. Oh, it does! I thought it was permanent for him. Yeah, permanent for him and Raiden. Like, if you're of that bloodline, it's permanent. But you're right, it did fly away. Defenders of the Realm was originally intended to be the true sequel to the first film before Annihilation retconned. Yes! So, it is supposed to take place after the first film, but like with most things, there are retcons in that as well, because there is no Johnny Cage in that, in Defenders of the Realm. And then, excuse me, there's no Johnny Cage. We just automatically know who Nightwolf is. They got jets. Like they have jets out of nowhere. Jeez, excuse me. We got Jax out of nowhere. And that's fine. The characters out of nowhere is fine, but then characters disappear. Where did Johnny Cage go? Just out of nowhere. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems so weird. But man, as a kid, I loved it. Give me more Mortal. I could not consume enough Mortal Kombat stuff. Okay, we're gonna boost up. Should we just put like 50 points into health? Just like, let me outlive everything, right? And then just put the other 50 into attack? Is that how we do this? How should I do this? And then I got 5 more. I don't know, defense? I don't know if you saw this old show called Flash Gordon, Defenders of the Realm, but that's the vibe Defenders of the Realm gave me. Support. I think we just became best friends. What? Flash Gordon's Defenders of the Earth? You mean out of the sky, his rocket ignites, jets into battle, flies faster than light? Flash Gordon. The Lord of the Jungle, the hero that stalks, the beast calling brother, the ghost who walks. Phantom. Defenders of the Earth. Defenders. Defenders of the Earth was my jam. It was my jam as a kid. Defenders of the Earth? Oh, man. And you know what? You're absolutely right. It is a lot like Defenders of the Earth. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, man. I remember Defenders of the Earth. Oh, man. That was my jizzam. All right, we're going to put the last 5 into this. And then we're just going to rock it like that. I don't think I can go wrong with that, right? We're going to hit like a truck and we're going to survive. Okay, let's go. But yeah, it does really give that kind of vibe. I remember, man, what was I watching? There was Hasbro wanted to like recreate the success of G.I. Joe, and so many different franchises got G.I. Joe figures, and Mortal Kombat was one of them. So eventually Mortal Kombat had toys or figures, and they just used G.I. Joe assets, but it was like Liu Kang that looked just like a G.I. Joe. And they would give them tanks, and like Reptile had a car, and it was just like, you guys just want G.I. Joe so badly. So badly, it's ridiculous. You know what? This armor is ridiculous as well. Man, Defenders of the Earth. I absolutely loved Flash Gordon and Phantom. what was the thing he would do? He would be like, give me the strength of 10 tigers, something like that. Like, what does that even mean? But I was hyped whenever he did that. I was hyped. Master of magic, spells and illusion. Enemies crumble in fear and confusion. Mandrake. Man. Man, you just unlocked a memory. Oh my gosh. You just absolutely unlocked a a memory there. Oh yeah, you're annoying. Oh my gosh, I can't even armor his armor. Oh, okay. Support says some things from Defenders of the Realm carries over to MK11. Nightwolf's pet is now canon. Actually, you're at 100% right. Yeah, and I believe they kept his name the same. Kiba. So they did incorporate that from Defenders of the Realm. You're right. Which is funny. Do you remember Mortal Kombat Conquest, the TV show? Man, if you think the timeline for Shujinko is weird, that completely messes up the timelines. Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I absolutely loved Conquest. I feel like I said, I could not get more Mortal Kombat. I could not consume enough Mortal Kombat. And, whew, man, I loved Vorpax. I'm surprised we haven't seen Vorpax in the video games yet. Oh my gosh, give us Vorpax. Okay. Support says, it's funny because in some episodes, when he does the power of 10 tigers, it doesn't count 10 tigers on screen. In episode 1, I counted 5. But you don't understand. Each one of those tigers has the power of 2 tigers. That's why it only needed 5 that time. Oh, okay, hold on. I hate this part. I absolutely hate this part. Ugh. Oh! Oh my gosh, this car! Okay, I gotta jump. Oh, okay. Ooh. Okay, the car is coming. Ah! Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, the amount of health! And look at me! Look at my life after that! Oh my gosh. Ugh. And the man has armor! Oh my gosh! Oh my days! And he has more armor! Oh, I hate this fight. I hate this fight! Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember Conquest. That, wasn't that supposed to be the Great Kung Lao? It's confusing because he's wearing the Descendants modern hat and fit. Yes, it is supposed to be the Great Kung Lao. He only wears the hat and fit in the first episode, though. And I believe it was like a thing where the Kung Lao that we know is just dressing like the Great Kung Lao. It's funny how Outworld is thousands of years old, yet not technologically advanced. And I think that's done by design. I think Shao wants to keep its people dumb and subservient. And not... we never hear about schools in Outworld, right? So people are just trying to survive. But yeah, so in Conquest, it is the Great Kung Lao, but Sub-Zero and Scorpion are there, and they hate each other. They have the same relationship as Hanzo and Bihan. So how do you square that circle? I don't know. But yeah, other than that, man, I loved Conquest. And you know what? You said that MK4 Quan Chi is the best, and I agree. But Conquest Quan Chi is a close second. He did a great job as Quan Chi. And man, I remember, I don't know why, whenever I saw the actor for Shang Tsung in Conquest, it always whenever I saw Eddie Guerrero, it made me think of Shang Tsung from Conquest, specifically Eddie when he was in WCW, before he like put on a lot of muscle mass. Pardon me. Let me see what you're saying here. If Outworld has schools, it's probably teaches students nothing except for worship of Shao Kahn. 100%. And you know what? That would actually be a really cool thing to see. So as fleshed out as Mortal Kombat is, I still feel like there's more things they can delve into. They can go over what is it like actually growing up in Outworld or one of these other realms. So like, are there schools? I don't know if you've watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, but there's an episode where in season 3 where the gang goes to the Fire Nation and Aang goes to school just to see like what is school like for the bad guys. And it is such a great illustration of how what's the word I'm looking for? How nationalism can turn, bright-eyed children into monsters when they grow up. I mean, I thought it was such a phenomenal episode about how they were teaching history, but the history was wrong on purpose. Just such great stuff there, and I feel like seeing an Outworld school would be phenomenal too. Like maybe it is all worship of Shao Kahn, and maybe it's much more physical education stuff, and maybe they're taught that the other realms are savages and whatnot, and we need to, Outworld needs to liberate these other realms. I think it would be really cool to see. Okay, the car is coming. Ugh! Gosh, I knew it was coming and it still got me. Ooh. Okay. I hate this. I hate it. Ugh. Oh gosh, the fire. Oh man. All right. Excuse me. Yeah, that was the Headband episode. All-time classic and good show overall. My childhood. I mean, yeah, Avatar is just absolutely a phenomenal story, phenomenal TV show. Great stuff. Oh my gosh, you're annoying. Oh my gosh. Of course, he just gets the armor. Oh man. You're not doing well. Ugh. Oh, why? Why do you keep doing this? Oh, of course I don't hit confirm and he gets the throw punish. Oh, Yep, I don't have a... No! I hate you, Johnny Cage. Oh! Why is this fight so difficult for me? I cannot grasp. Alright, you know what? We're beating it this time.
Why must you be so?
Johnny Cage wants to make
With the gifts the king gave me.
a Cassie variant with Tanya? What? I apologize. I'm trying to hit the mute button before I cough. I apologize. I thought I hit mute and I didn't. Jeez Louise. Okay. Johnny Cage, you're annoying. Jeez, he gets hype mode just so easily. All right. Oh man. Anyway, so how do you feel about the whole leaker thing with Mortal Kombat? Actually, better question is, what is something that you want to talk about in a video? Like, what do you think your next video is going to be? Maybe we can get a sneak peek on that. I feel like there's... Man, I just need to actually do it, but I have a list of just videos that I want to do and about stuff I want to talk about. Like, I want to do the inspirations of Mortal Kombat. I also just want to do different team combinations and just go into ranked. Just go into ranked with like I feel like there's so many different combinations as far as teams go, and I mean we just see a lot of the more established teams, but I want to showcase like just weird teams. And then there's just so many other topics that I feel like I should really talk about and get out there. Okay. This is where I actually lose. Okay, car. Oh, beautiful. Fire. Car. Where? Oh, that does so much damage. If I would have just not get hit by that stupid zombie. Oh man, that did like half my life. Oh man. Finally, this stupid armor is gone. Oh man. Okay, we gotta focus in here. Oh. Oh! Man, I missed my opportunity. Oh, mistake. Oh my gosh. Thank the Elder Gods. Johnny, Melina's going to be my wife. Talking over my dead body. Cage headshot? Okay. Finally, I can move on. I feel like I've been on this fight for so long. All right, and with that, I think I'm going to call it a night. We've been on for about 2 hours now. We're going to the Fire Temple. But, one day I'll have Melina. Oh, you can have her, brother. Man, these are some beautiful... These are some beautiful landscapes. I just wish... Excuse me. I just wish Invasions was more fun. And I feel like... I really feel like the game, it's like... So Invasions is really just... It's just arcade mode on a grid, right? That's how I view Invasions. But I feel like a lot of people think it's bland and boring because other than fighting and like buying things at a store, there's no interaction. You can't go into any homes. You can't talk to any NPCs. You don't get any like insight. Like, we're in the Fire Gardens, right? There should be like Shirai Ryu people that I can talk to, and maybe they react differently depending on the character you are. And I feel like that would have made Invasions a lot more interesting. But I think the whole idea of interaction is why things like MK11 Crypt was so much fun. Even though the gameplay is not... There isn't a lot of gameplay when it comes to MK11 Crypt. You're just walking around and swinging things with a hammer. But there's a lot more interaction. And I think that's what Invasions is missing. Should have been a conquest mode like Deception. Or like Shaolin Monks. Right. I mean, Deception... Conquest mode and Deception is similar to the Crypt in MK11, where there really isn't any gameplay. I mean, you would find someone who would teach you moves, and then you would do a tutorial for that character. And then you would just walk around and punch things. But I feel like Deception Conquest is so beloved. One, because it's how long it is. I feel like it's just a long quest, which is really satisfying to finish. And it tells a story. But also because of the interactions, because you can go up and talk to Shao Kahn, or you can punch this person, or there were secrets to find by going to certain places at certain times. So I feel like the whole interactivity of that mode is really what people enjoy. Whereas I feel like it could be... Invasions could be more enjoyable if it was more interactive. Even though it's on a grid like this. Like, it's not going to be... It wouldn't be as loved as Deception's Conquest mode. Just because of the format. But I feel like it could be more... it could be enjoyed by more if there were more interactive stuff in it. And Armageddon Conquest Mode, the action adventure. Yes, the Armageddon Conquest Mode I think is underrated. That was fun. And it was a way to tell a story. I don't know why NetherRealm is so against like I feel like story mode should have like an overworld part to it. So for example, like if it's a story mode and it's time to play as Raiden, like maybe Raiden has, I don't know, you walk around as Raiden and then of course you're going to get into fights and it just goes into the fighting game portion of the game. But then there could be other minigame like stuff. So maybe Raiden has a mode where he has to, it's like a run and gun kind of thing, kind of like Contra or something like that, where that Raiden's part of the story, he has to do that, and then he has to do fights. But maybe when you're like someone more stealthy like Sonya or Scorpion, maybe his part of the story mode, there's like a Metal Gear Solid type thing where you have to like avoid being seen and sneak into a palace or something like that. And then once you get into the palace, you fight whoever you're supposed to fight. But have these little things to mix up what you're doing, so it's not just cinematic mode and then fight, and then cinematic mode and then fight. And I think NetherRealm is really just rested on their what's the phrase I'm looking for? They did story mode, and it was such a big deal to do story mode in a fighting game, and they never innovated what that story mode was like. I feel like they did with Armageddon, and then they just never did it again. If we had Conquest mode, modern games, it would be like Deadly Alliance and Armageddon mixed, where you can play as a character individually the whole time at any time. Yeah, if I were in the design room, what I would do is during certain chapters you play only as that character. So let's say for example you have a chapter where it's Scorpion, right? In that chapter you only play as Scorpion, but you have these stealth missions, right? Where you can sneak past certain people, or you can just fight them if you want to fight them, but it's extremely unbalanced. Like their health bar is like 4 times your health bar or something stupid. Or you can just sneak by them, and that's the whole point, to give you a different type of game to play. However, once you beat story mode, then you can replay anyone's chapter with any character. But maybe a different character has a different ability, or it allows you to get to somewhere you couldn't with the other character. So, for example, maybe during Scorpion's chapter, if you play it with Jax, maybe there's a wall that Jax can just like punch his way through, and then beyond that wall is like a treasure chest that has like a character skin in it. But you can only access it after you've beaten story mode, and then you go back and play it with a different character. And then there would be different paths that unlock when you play certain chapters with certain other characters. And I think that would get people playing the game more, playing story mode more. And, the more people are playing the game, the more you could advertise microtransactions to them. And ultimately, the more money the company would make. So I really feel like that would be a cool way to do story mode. Right, that would be great to see. I think that would be really cool to see. Obviously, it would take more time for them to develop, but it would kind of be like the way they did the crypt in MKX. I don't know if you remember that, but in MKX, it was like you were walking around and then you got like Raiden Staff, and Raiden Staff allowed you to teleport to a different place that you couldn't get to before. They can do that, but just do it with characters and make us want to replay story mode, even if we can just skip the cinematics. But I think giving us more stuff to do couldn't hurt. Anyway, that's what I think. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. We've been on here for more than 2 hours, and I gotta rest my voice. I know when it comes to streaming, 2 hours is not long. 2 hours is not long at all. But I don't want to keep you guys too long, and I'm still kind of sick. I'm still kind of sick, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Listen, time is our most valuable asset, so I want to thank you so much for spending some of your time with me here tonight, just talking about designs for fictional characters. So thank you so much. 2 hours is the longest record. For me it is. And I got to get used to streaming for a longer period of time, and I think I'm gonna start just pushing it a little bit more every time. I'm gonna start pushing it, but I'm gonna call it for tonight. Support, you've been amazing, man. Thank you so much. Again, thank you for everything. Thanks for hanging out, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Don't get beat up out there, and I'll most likely be on tomorrow if you'll be available. So come check me out tomorrow. Anyway, peace.